Hey guys, thanks so much for being here with me. I appreciate you all so much. I want to share with you today a vision that Spirit showed me that carried such a truth that I knew I needed to share it. And it was pretty intense. So first off, of course, trigger warning, disclaimer, always, take what resonates, leave the rest, and use your own discernment, of course. So this vision, at first, I was just immersed in light, and it kind of kept changing color on me, but at first it was just yellow, and it was so bright. My eyes were closed, but it was so bright I felt like I needed to close my eyes. So that's how intense this was. And then I saw greens and reds and orange, but it formed into a moth, and this moth was surrounded by lightning. And then finally into an eye cracking open. Okay, and so the message isn't necessarily about those images themselves, right? But what that was teaching me. Because right before this came through, I had been sitting with a question for Spirit. And I know it's a question that many of us wrestle with during this journey, right? And that question was, if Spirit loves us no matter what, if nothing can separate us from that love, then what is the incentive that people have to be or do good, right? Why choose the light? Why heal? Why do all of the work if unconditional love is already guaranteed? And Spirit answered me. And so I'm going to tell you exactly what came through, okay? Child of light, you are remembering that love is not earned, it is. The cracks you saw were not destruction, they were mercy, opening you to see what the mind cannot. When you act from love, you align with the current of creation itself. When you act from fear, you do not lose our love. You only turn away from the warmth of your own sun. We do not punish, we illuminate. You came to earth to experience contrast, to learn the joy of choosing light, even when darkness whispers that it doesn't matter. Every choice toward love expands the whole. And how profound is that, right? And maybe some of you are rolling your eyes like, this is maybe a little too deep or a little too cheesy, and that's okay. Again, take what resonates. But, this really hit me because I have heard darkness whispering to me that it doesn't matter. I have had moments where I sat and went, what am I doing? What am I doing all this for? And how easy it can be to slip back into certain things, right? And I think there's a point you reach in the spiritual journey where there is no going back. Once you've seen and once you remember certain things, there's no unseeing or unfeeling, right? And so this is one of those for me personally. And that is, Spirit's love is unconditional, but we still have free will. And what does that really mean? Because, they teach us this, right? But all that means is that we don't have to choose the light. And that's what makes it so sacred when we do. Because until we choose it, life will continue to mirror back the lessons we need to remember who we are through lifetimes, if necessary. Okay? And the contrast, the pain, the chaos, all of these things we experience on earth, right? They're not punishments, they're invitations. Every challenge is love calling us home to ourselves. Okay? So maybe the real question isn't why be good if Spirit loves everyone, but how much of that love am I willing to let myself feel? Because every loving thought, every moment of compassion or forgiveness is us saying yes to that warmth, yes to the alignment, yes to the light, right? So Spirit was telling me that I'm finally learning that I don't have to earn love. I am love. I am loved. And I walk in the light not to be loved, but because I am love remembering itself. And maybe that's what you needed to hear today too. So may this message reach whoever it's meant to reach. Sending you light, love, and healing. I hope this helps.